Very aggressive.
Interesting. I got stats. Harith versus Granger head-to-head. 12 games played. 25% win rate for Harith, 75% Granger.
Interesting. Is this MPL ID?
This is MPL ID. Just updated live stats.
Okay.
I think it's the fact that the Granger can be used in so many more different ways. You can use it as a burst tool, as a harassment tool, as a power farmer, as a lane bully. That's the problem with the Granger right now. It just does too many things too well. Even now, it still looks fine against this composition. But the final pick is going to be Novaria. Help with that scouting. But man, that also means that if Natco mispositions, we talked about Natco being aggressive, flickering forwards. The Novaria is a whole different style. So if he's not careful, that Hilda is going to be right on him.
Also, Novaria Granger comp. That's a synergy that we've seen work really well. So if Bigetron want to go in for the brawl, the dive, if Evos can kite instead,
I think it still works very, very well.
Exactly.
The Novaria is slowing everyone down. Don't forget the Glorious Pathway is still in the picture too.
Okay, I mean, counter index and lineup rating does favor BTR, but yeah, in the lineup, this is a full team fight. They need to win team fights.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, the winning conditions for both of the teams as we get into game number 2. Can Bigetron prolong the series to a best of 3? Can they force a third game? Or will Evos walk away with a clean sweep against the Red Robots? Here it is, game number 2, Bigetron White Tigers.
Let's see how it goes. Is it going to be a full-on brawl? Is it going to be a chess match with macro as the emphasis here? You were saying, Mirko, they have to win the team fights. I say they have to find those team fights first too. Because Evos can very easily back away from this. There's going to be so much pressure onto Moreno and Light to be able to find those pickoffs, find those engages for the team. Because otherwise, Eternal has really highlighted the potential for the poke game with the Novaria and Granger. And the Suyo technically. So much poke from Evos. As we take a look at the emblems here. Full firmness and tenacity for Key. Main frontline there wants to put himself between him and the rest of the team. Whereas for Bigetron, still a lot of thrills actually. A lot of emphasis on having some more damage to throw around in the early game. The Hilda from the Cho as well.
What do you think about the CC and Hilda lane?
CC Hilda lane? Oh, hang on a second.
Damage into the mid lane. Key has Revitalize. Oh, first blood. No, he actually used the Revitalize earlier. First blood for Luke. Bit too aggressive. But on that topic, Eterna, I do feel like the CC definitely has a bit more of an advantage. But generally, the laner with sustain can at least stay in the lane. Can at least have, you know, have some farm. Not get bullied out of the lane completely. I think that's also why they ban away the Uranus. With the changes to the CC, you can't really win the lane as a Uranus, but you can at least stick around and stay relevant.
So does Luke clear faster in the lane? Is that why he's always rotating quicker? Or is that just not part of the gameplay a CC has?
I feel like for the early game, the Hilda will be able to clear faster due to the spammable nature of the spells and the AoE nature of her skills as well. But as the game goes on, the base damage is going to fall off. And that's where Reggie, in theory, should be able to clear faster.
Maybe we're actually seeing that kind of represent into what we're seeing right now. Both teams are starting to posture for the first neutral objective of the game. Annabelle is actually level 6 right now, and he seems to be the first one onto the turtle.
Great kick! And a follow-up instantly from Bigetron Esports. Retreat on the turtle. Light on a signature pick. Albert still trying to go in. Light trying to go for the Jikundo, but Albert will respect it.
That's the scary part about running the CC, especially without the Vengeance. But look at this diversion play.
Oh, Key gets caught in it! Wow, what a diversion! And Annabelle picks up a kill too.
Surprise, surprise, immediately. Key saw them, went away from the area, only to run into them yet again. That's a great read, but look at Erlan. Able to get out for now, but he's going to get Zono out of his turret. It's going to be a lot of gold for Eman to collect.
Yeah, that's also a lot of gold taken away from Erlan. Light, again, posturing in. I think Erlan still wants to get into the vicinity. And Mon, do they want to commit to this?
Mon is low, but he will be able to escape with his Zaman Force. Doesn't have to burn the Flicker.
Alright, and for the moment, it seems like Bigetron is still leading. Oh, wait, Erlan going back in? No, only just to clear. Okay, 2,000 gold lead, though, for the Red Robots. What do you think about how this is going so far? Is this what you predicted for the early stage of the game?
I thought Evos would do a better job avoiding some of these fights, but in theory, this is where Bigetron needs to be as active as possible, right? They want to try and use that choke pressure, that the playmaking, and the strong early game of the Hilda as well to try and negate a lot of the plans of Evos. As the game goes on, though, I mean, they also will have the benefit of having that diversion and really seeing it get put to good use by Bigetron. So Evos, I feel like it starts in the laning phase. The moment the lanes kind of stabilize and it can clear faster and be around faster, they're going to be able to find space to actually do something.
Yeah, Reggie with a flicker down below. And Annabelle on this Nolan, though again, it looked kind of odd, right? Because we don't usually see Nolan. I think this is the first Nolan game in MPL. It does fit his playstyle a bit more, right? Like, you don't need to be too active. You can just constantly look for angles to farm, to invade, and to win out in the level department before you even fight.
It's more Annabelle. It's more characteristic to Annabelle. And with Annabelle actually a level ahead, it should be them being able to win the red tree battle despite Evos kind of posturing for the neutral objective first.
Evos are just on the watch for light potentially, but they get spotted now. That's going to be the turtle pick up.
Wait, the Dragon and Flicker combo key disintegrated. Annabelle with the fracture claims the kill. 4-0 currently, with another turtle going their hands. Diversion play. Oh no, Albert, he's right on top of it! Albert with the Soul Sever gets knocked out by the Jukun Go! And Luke picks up the kill. Now Erlan forced back. Luke is just tanking up those hits. They want to put pressure on Erlan to take that turret up top.
This is the pickup potential that the composition from Bigetron Alpha really offered. Bigetron Esports offered. Annabelle being able to put in the burst, we have Moreno doing the diversion plays, and they're finally being able to work with it. Iman initially very pressured into the gold lane, now has a lot more space. Light goes back in.
Gets the kick and stunned up though. Now Erlan able to dash away. Key, Zaman forced down as Zaman pops in, Zaman forced, and does enough damage. Key very low, Synchro Vision. No, doesn't get it. Iman flickers. Moreno gets the kill with Dispersion, but now gets caught low. Flickers back to Iman. The shot not connecting. Very, very close.
Ooh, back and forth from both teams. Bigetron with the pressure play, with the dive there. It's a great play, and you're using this pressure from all the lanes so well. A lot of these plays aren't even made on the back of their jungler. Talk about the trio mid rotating around. It's mainly just a Light along with either Annabelle, or if he's not available, Moreno alone. The two of them can make those value rotations themselves.
Which is why I felt like the Luoyi pick was very valuable for not just Bigetron, but also for Evos. It's a wonder why they didn't prioritize it sooner in the drafts. And we're finally seeing what the Luoyi can do. And this is no ordinary Luoyi as well. This is Moreno on the Luoyi. He's been utilizing this hero since last season. As Light goes back in, actually.
Gets stunned up. This could be the first kill for Evos, and it does become the first kill. Diversion away to keep them out. Annabelle is looking for a possible kill. Oh, Albert used the Blade Surge already! Oh, lethal ignition! Cool guys, don't look at explosions. And it's an assassination from Annabelle.
That was beautifully done. He's sitting now at 0-0, Annabelle at 3-0-2, and he picks up the objective as well. That's a perfect turtle for the White Tigers.
The clean execution from Annabelle as well there. I mean, to calculate the damage down to a T, even if he wasn't able to actually secure the kill, he can't stick around anyways, but that just looks so cool as Annabelle strikes back. But a 6k gold now Bigetron, they're the ones dictating the pace. Evos is struggling to find anything.
Yeah, putting in a lot of resources on the Hilda, and that's exactly what they want here. Purple buff, I believe, stolen as well. 3-level lead now for Annabelle against Albert.
It's not looking good for Evos whatsoever. If this drags into the late game, do Evos have the composition to fight back?
They have damage. They will be able to scale better. Well, I mean, at least scale evenly. But they also have to deal with the diversion. That's such a big X factor that kind of negates the usual compositions, because you never know, right? Even if you have the best composition, if you have no idea where the fight's gonna begin,
That was
you don't
only,
really know.
Wow. That burst, Rashi, sorry to cut you off there. That burst was only skill 1 and passive.
Yep. The Nolan damage when he's ahead definitely is nothing to underestimate. But Bigetron, they're just playing this pressure game so well. A Light is so active along with Luke. Both of them just taking some shots, regenning it, tanking through it, and getting into the jungle, threatening the members of Evos. And with the front lane being key, slowly and surely getting squishier and squishier in the face of all the damage coming in from Bigetron, Evos are slowly and surely gonna be forced to concede all the control they have, even in their own jungle.
Absolutely. I mean, Albert's still at level 10 compared to Annabelle at level 15. Because at some point, usually when we see a team behind, there's a certain point where there's equilibrium, but when will that equilibrium hit? Diversion?
Oh my lord! Jeet Kune Do into the kill, and Man on top of the Moreno! They're disappearing in front of BTR! Wow, Erlan and Reggie, the two side laners, taken down again. Moreno pops into dispersion, this time onto the tank. And you can see that burst damage as Annabelle goes solo on the Lord. Lord 1 for BTR, no contest.
Shall we move on to game number 3? Is this the end?
Oof. I mean, it's looking like it. Even if Evos want to scale up, get some damage in, they can clear with Natco and Erlan. But Bigetron has so many more options available, and the Lord right now isn't very easily dealt with. But an 11k gold lead for Bigetron? I don't think we've seen a game go so differently from game 1 to game 2, man. It's just such a different look.
Absolutely. This is what happens when Light gets a comfortable hero. This is what happens when Annabelle gets a hero he's comfortable with. Moreno too. Despite the Harith and Granger topic right now, Eman is leading 3 levels above of Doma. So that is something that we need to look forward to. This Lord is going to be pushing to the mid lane. Let's see if Evos can defend.
See in the mid lane, the Lord will be able to march in. Damage from Moreno to poke Luke, soaking in a bit of damage as well. Light trying to zone them away as in the bottom lane. Albert will be able to deal with the wave. Another shot into the turret, mid lane base turret crack with the first Lord. Eman popping his Eman, forces Reggie. Gets the curtain call on him. But it will not stop them from pushing in. Another wave in the mid lane dealt with by Evos. But there are 2 more waves, down below and up top.
I don't think they have enough damage to even take down the back line right now. Look at that damage on Taki.
Yeah. Dispersion rotation! Almost another Erlan forced to flicker out of the magic burst!
So much damage so quickly. Albert's trying to scout a bit more, but at any point, Light could be lurking in the shadows, looking for a chance to go. But if you focus too much on Light, Annabelle can take you out before you even notice. Now Bigetron, they have all the control. They're still trying to siege around for this turret, but oof, gotta be careful.
They gotta respect that high ground. Evos still have very good clear. Novaria, Granger obviously, but you know, Suyo, surprisingly, Suyo actually does clear waves really quick too. Can poke, can go from a range, and that AoE, Soul Sever.
So essentially Evos still have a chance.
Yes, they do. It's not impossible for them to come back, but it's a 12.4k gold lead for BTR.
And I mean, technically their composition doesn't have as many tools to create that comeback.
Really not a big amount of playmaking tools.
Yeah.
It's always relying more on just being able to sustain in the front line and dealing damage and spotting out Bigetron from far away. But when they're this far behind, I mean, look at the items here. Only a glowing wand for the Novaria, only the Malefic Roar for the Granger as well. Now there's gonna be the Sea Halberd, but overall these are all sources of damage that can be tanked up by Light and by Luke, especially Luke on that Hilda, man. Just takes the initial hit. He has a Twilight Armor as well that's gonna lower the amount of that single instant burst, and he just walks into the bushes and heals back up.
Luke is definitely a problem. Luke is definitely a problem. That's why I think the itemization coming in from Erlan makes a lot more sense. But again, back into this, 12 minutes in, that's going to be yet another uncontested Lord for Annabelle. Are they just waiting on a mistake now for Bigetron? Is that the end game that they're looking for? Maybe an overcommitment when they go in for the siege with the Lord?
Yeah, I think Evos at this point, the only option is to try and geek it out. Just stand there.
Geek it out.
Yeah, just clear the
Got
waves.
geekable. Is it geekable?
Do some damage. You know, take trades and then heal back in the base and come back out. But for Bigetron, they do have the tools available to stop Evos from resetting the fights. They can actually force them into a proper hard engage. But we have to wait and see. Bigetron are known to use these lords greatly. Oh, good luck!
Oh, way the dragon, but it's only onto the tank right now. As Luke is able to zone them in the back now. Key gonna be taken very low. Mine very low as well, but he gets the kill now. Annabelle jumping in. Reggie able to survive. I don't know about that. 1 for 1, both roamers down. Lord in the mid lane still there. Reggie trying to zone them away. Oh! That's a shot down. Annabelle with a fracture. 3 base turrets now taken down with the bottom lane falling to Annabelle. Base. Less than half HP. Luke, very low. Moreno with a pull by Erlan. Rose Gold Meteor saves him, but now Iman walks back up. Neko falling. Iman continues this, but they have no minions. It's a double for Iman. Erlan trying to save the game. Key will be spawning in a bit. Annabelle, fracture in forward. They gotta go for the base right now, and they do to equalize 1-1.
We're going to game number 3 as Bigetron strike back in game number 2.
After that first game, we thought it might be a done deal, but Bigetron shows all it takes is a couple of adjustments. As Mirko mentioned, once they get the chemistry down, once they get the plays together, once they all can see the bigger picture together,